Good evening, greetings, and salutations. This is Passionate Bliss with my last minute thoughts on Love Island episode 26. Second day of movie night. The movies shown were a little bit disappointing, lackluster. A lot of people who deserve smoke didn't get smoke. Zach should have been exposed for being a creep and for hating on the relationships. And I wished Melanie would have been heard telling Casey that he's a Build-A-Bear. But they're not going to do that because right now they're trying to soothe over the feelings in the villa, calm everybody down, get them back to kumbayaing. So the last week they spend been building up sentiment for the time they've had and missing each other when they leave. So production wants everybody to make up. Is it possible that production prompted Anaya to go apologize? Maybe, but I doubt if it took much. I don't feel that Casey deserved an apology. She just sat there and listened to him talk trash about her back to back, and she was still a big enough person to go over and apologize and let him know that it was disrespectful. He didn't deserve that. That's not who she is. That I believe 100%. And so she had no issue going over there and making an apology, in which case she set the example for Casey, and he immediately apologized in return. Those of you who thought that Carl was going to get the ick because she saw Anaya get up in his face and yell at him, which he deserved, you were wrong. He's not going to get the ick. I never thought for a minute he was going to get the ick. He was probably low-key happy to see it. Now he don't have to worry about Anaya and KC reconnecting and regenerating their connection. So, because she know that if she could talk to a man like that, she ain't gonna never try to get back with him again. So I'm pretty sure that Carl was low-key happy to see it. And the fact that she apologized, that erased whatever misgivings he might have had about it. He was highly sympathetic because unlike KC, he knows that Anaya is the prize and not him. And so, also, I wanted to touch on Casey's apology. Okay, a lot of y'all want to give him a lot of props for the apology. I'm still, however, of the opinion that apology was not for Anaya. That apology was for America. Casey was sick to his stomach when he saw himself on there because he actually thought he still had a chance of winning this money. He did not. Once he left Anaya, his chance of winning the money was over. But now he's seen himself and that he's gotten the villain edit, and he's sick that he looks like a villain on TV because he thought he was the good guy. And he thought he was going to come out as the good guy. He thought that everybody was going to say, oh, he just found a new connection. But instead, we were dragging him for holding a grudge against this girl and punishing her with public humiliation as a result. So now he knows, especially based on Meg Thee Stallion's reaction when she bigged up the girls and told the gentlemen to up their gentlemanship. He knows that that's how the public in general, because those of you who are caping for Casey and said he did nothing wrong, you're the minority. The maximum amount of you who support his antics is 30% or less. You guys are the minority. Most of America is not on what Casey is on. And so you can defend him all you want to, because now your hero has admitted himself that he was wrong, that he was disrespectful, that he was cowardly, that he refused to tell her what the issues in their relationships were, and he told everybody else. He never gave them a chance to survive, because if only one person knows there's a problem, the other person can't fix it. Every time she had a problem, she brought it to him and allowed him to fix it and reassure her. He had problems day after day, and he went around and told everybody but her, and she's trying to piece it together from tidbits here and tidbits there. But he deliberately did not tell her, because the entire time he intended to go to Casa, find somebody else, come back and dump and humiliate her. He said out his own mouth, you and me, we're going to break hearts when we go back. He came there to Casa to find somebody else, and he meant to bring that person back and break Anaya's heart publicly on TV. He had ill intentions. That's why he made this apology. It sounded good. I believe production helped him write it. Since when has he proven that he's so self-aware that he built up resentment that she was unaware of? No. He talked to the therapist, and they helped him contract that apology. And that apology was given not because he regrets anything he did, because he already gave 2 insincere apologies already. But he had to come back and make another one because now he knows how he looks to America. This apology is for America. It's not for Anaya. No, it's not for Anaya at all. He just knows that he's for sure lost this money, and he's only trying to recover his image at this point so that he doesn't get dragged too bad. because he sees how awful he looks, because in his head, he always thought he was the good guy. He was the victim. And people saying that he had a right to act like that because he was rejected. No, he didn't, because Anaya was rejected the exact same night. And not only did she not hold a grudge against Sincere for rejecting her, she became his best friend, and also the best friend of the woman he rejected her for. So you saying that Casey is entitled to his resentment for that one day is absurd. We wouldn't have Cordell and Serena, because another man the previous season before the last experienced the exact same rejection, and he ended up winning the money because he had sense enough to stay with the winning horse. However, that was never going to happen for Casey because he's, number one, his fragile is too ego. I'm sorry. His ego is too fragile. He doesn't know how to communicate well with Anaya. And even his personality with the laughing and the making the faces, it annoys her. He was never going to be the man for her. He knew that. He's out of his league. He even mentioned in his speech, she's from a good family. He know that he's not from a good family. He has a hood mentality. He knows how to handle a hood chick like TT. He did find his correct match. So I'm not even, upset about that. He was never able to handle her. So, that's my take on Casey and his apology. He only issued that apology to rehab his image. So it was a good apology. It was thorough. It was accurate. And all of you who are defending him, saying he did nothing wrong, it looks like he knows that he did something wrong. And he also knows that the majority of America is going to recognize that he did something wrong. And so now I'm glad they don't have to talk to each other again. They don't have to look at each other again. I just want to see love stories proceed from here forward. I believe that the core four are going to the finals. That's the ladies. And the dudes they picked up are going along with them. My prediction is that Trinity and Bryce will win it, and that Carl and Anaya will be number 2. It depends on how much pull Kata and Zach folks have for them, because a lot of people actually hate Zach. And so I feel like Carl and Anaya are going to be number 2. Possibly Kata and Zach, but I really don't feel like that. And I never needed for Anaya to win. I just wanted Anaya to go to the Final Four. So she's there to the last day. Because Anaya is already one in life. Her parents set her up to win in life. Carl also does not need the money. That's why my vote is going to be for Carl and Anaya. But I want Trinity and Bryce to win. But they got enough motion behind them that they're going to win without my vote. And so I don't believe it's a real relationship. I believe that at some point Trinity and Bryce got together and said, let's stay together and win this money. Because they both need it. That's why I want Trinity and Bryce to win, because they both need the money. And they put in the work, and they gave us the best love story of the season. So they deserve the money. Carl and Anaya, they also have the second best love story in the villa. They met late in the game, or they probably would have won it if they had met early in the game. And so those are my predictions, and that's my take. With that being said, y'all have sweet dreams. Wait to find it all real.